So in this video, I think it's safe to say that I can now sound the alarm. The most incredible thing, I'm gonna call it incredible. It's almost feels like a phenomenon. With everything that's been going on in our country lately, I've just been feeling really, really heavy, really ugly. I feel like I should not be complaining much about the injustices that are happening to our special needs children, to my special needs community. I feel like there's bigger things out there. I feel like, wow, it's insane to see how these bad guys are winning. What chances do I have if those guys up in our governments can win that badly with no shame? You know, what chances do I have here in, you know, me being a little guy and the district being a big guy? So, I talked to my brother-in-law recently, and he gave me some feedback on my YouTube. He said that I in one video, I do almost what feels like two different things. Like I should almost separate them. And I don't know if that's a conclusion that he wanted to get to, or it's just a conclusion that I thought, like, you know what, you're right. I should do that. I should separate these two things. He said, you talk about autism and you try to teach, and educate, and then you talk about yourself and your personal life. He said it's not a bad thing, but you might have to split those. And it's true. If somebody wants to listen about autism and learn, yeah, then they're gonna have to stomach hearing me talk for a long period of time. Like, so I'm gonna start doing that. It's true. Makes a lot of sense, and I love feedback, so I'm gonna do that. This video, I don't know if this has to do with me personally or autism. I'm not here to educate in this video. I'm here to just sound the alarm and raise awareness to what's happening. So I'm gonna try to go fast. In 2019, my son entered school for the first time in his life, and I was lied to by the school assistant principal who's in charge of special education. When I found out about these lies, I tried to raise awareness to the district, and I got no adequate response. I filed a complaint with the Board of Education, with the California Department of Education, and basically what they say, that all they do is just like a slap on the wrist. They just approach the school and they'll say, no, you shouldn't be lying to parents like that. It doesn't matter what the end result of those lies were. It just don't do it anymore. Then a parent would then have to create this ruckus and do a lawsuit if I want to get back at them for these lies and like what they did, how they manipulated me, well, how they tried to. And no attorney wants to take on a case like that. The only thing that they can do is fight for services during an IEP. So it's like, oh, they hurt your feelings, so sorry, but that's like more of like a civil matter. Or I don't know, special education attorney who cares a little bit extra. So that realization really, really hurt. Another thing is that I advocated for a better placement. Oh, okay, so you guys don't have a placement for my son here in this school. Hey, how about we build one? I made that speech before the Board of Education in March, I believe, 2019. And I was approached by the assistant superintendent, Beth Kaufman, at that time, of the LAUSD, who's in charge of special education. I asked her for her credentials, and she had no special education background. She stated she had a background like in psychology. And yeah, that's how she's supposed to lead the pack. This is the person that's supposed to know what's best for our special education children. Somebody who has no special education background. So, okay. After about, I would say, almost a year of back and forths, which one day I'll sit down and I'll show you guys all the emails and everything I've ever recorded. By the way, LAUSD, I know you're watching. I know you're watching, so hello. Yes, it's me, that thing that keeps bothering you. They informed me this was their response. So I have this in email, okay? no, we are not going to build what you're asking for. I was asking for an alternative curriculum autism program in that school. And they said, no, there's not enough children with autism in order, like, for us to build that. In order for us to build a program like that, there would have to be at least 8 children. And we don't have enough square footage. Okay. There are some completely empty spaces in that school. So they do have enough square footage. And we don't have the funding. Every fiscal year we get together and we decide where our funding goes. Okay. That really took me down in 2019. It really did. That ignorance, the way they speak to you, the way they gaslight you, the way they mind rape you, it's heavy. It's heavy. You feel this tiny. I tried sounding the alarm back then and I was not going anywhere. I wasn't able to speak on camera. I'm still not able to speak on camera, but at least now I'm kind of sort of a little bit just word vomiting what I can. But yeah, basically that's it. The end. So, it took me down so incredibly bad that I had to try to survive it. And my cuñado took me to Wrightwood and gave me a whole lot of psilocybin so that I can reset my brain and expand my mind. And it worked. So I was kind of okay. 2020. Of course, COVID hit 2020. So that did not feel okay. But mentally, during that time, I started educating myself. Somehow life took me down the road to become a behavior therapist. So now I'm in the field. Of behavior analysis. So now I see a wider range of children, different ages, sizes, ethnicities, groups, colors, whatever you want to call it. Different human beings, different little human beings, big human beings, families, environments, and not all those humans are the same. Autism, special needs, it's not a one size fits all. Neither is its behaviors towards that. So me in the field, what works for one of my clients could completely not work for another, not only not work, but even cause harm. So we are very technical people in this profession, very technical, and we take very serious every single client. I'm sorry, not student, because they're not students, they're clients. Every single client. So we do insane psychoanalysis on all of these children constantly, and we collect data constantly. And our observation is very intense. It's very intense. The data is intense. It's very specific. Very, very, very specific. I'm supposed to be able to predict their next move. I'm supposed to know what it is that sets them off. I'm trained to really understand these children. Now let me ask you guys a question. What do you guys think about that? Does that sound pretty awesome? Because it actually is awesome to me. It changed my life completely. To be able to have that skill changed my life completely because I have a special needs son. So I'm able to help him with his behaviors, and only training like this gave me that skill. So now I'm on a mission to give this to parents. I want parents to be behavior therapists for their children. Of course, children act different with parents, so sometimes it can be a bit challenging, but it's better than nothing. Trust me, it's better than nothing. I'm so afraid to just speak so directly that this is what stops me from being able to just flow, because I feel like there's always another side to what one person says. There's always another opinion, some person can say, but it doesn't always work. Yes, I know it does not always work, but I can guarantee you that it will work better than you not having any form of ABA knowledge or skills. So anyways, I'm mentioning my profession because I feel like we're the ones that need to be around these special needs children. And I feel like the school settings don't have a whole lot of this. They're running things their way. And I feel like the Los Angeles Unified School District does not want to reach that, because it's going to cost them a whole lot of money. This training will cost them a whole lot of money. And us having to do extra work, us behavior therapists or behavior interventionists having to do that extra work might, raise concerns over how little we're getting paid. Don't worry, LAUSD, a lot of us, we just love our jobs, okay? But for whatever reason, this is not how it is for the LAUSD. The LAUSD is not giving these kinds of trainings, like intense trainings. So, some of these teachers and aides they're trying their best. They're trying their ultimate best with the knowledge that they do have. Some of them are super excelling. Some of them, they're a little bit in their own old school, parenting ways, or some of them don't even have children and they just go by their tío ways, and it doesn't 100% work out that way most of the time. Like, these children need a whole lot more. They need what us behavior therapists, behavior counselors, and board certified behavior analysts can give. So, okay, I don't want to make this a long thing. So I just wanted to give out that information. I recently found out from an inside source, and no, LAUSD, I'm not going to give you my source. But yes, there's an insider who I'm pretty sure is will be protected by our California whistleblower laws, in case you guys think you guys are going to try to get to this person. They'll sound the alarm as well. And so I was approached and informed that the Los Angeles Unified School District is trying to cut a special needs program in my son's school. Okay. So, of course, I heard this. I felt the same anger that I felt in 2019 when they just straight out told me, no, we're not going to open up a program for you. Oh, by the way, 8 children that they needed, they were actually busting out 11 children that belonged to that school per their home address, right? It's the zones, right? So you have your address and there's a little square that tells you, hey, all of you within this square belong to this school. So in that time, 11 children that belonged to that school were being bussed out to other schools that did have that program. So by law, these children qualified to be in an alternative curriculum autism program, which is for lack of better terms, please don't get offended. I'm just trying to make this video super, super fast. And I'm not one to ever offend my special needs community. It is very dear to me. Like I've said many times in my video, they are considered children who can benefit from a lot more help, a lot more aid. So there's standards to these classes, there's requirements. And so it can't exceed a number of students, and each student per their IEP, always any student per their IEP, they have accommodations, but this particular class, just qualifying to be in this class, there's already a set standard that it's like, I just requested to give it to you guys straight what the LAUSD policies are. I requested that information, so I'm waiting for it. But someone had told me that it's like per 4 students, there should be an aide per 4 students. So if there's 8 students, there should be 2 aides and the teacher. And then each child per their IEP can have their own personal BIIs. So yeah, look at that lie. Look at that lie. I emailed them and I said, hey, look, you guys said 8 students, but you guys are busting out 11. And then I just received no response. And then COVID hit. And then I just thought, you know what, let me gear up and I'll take these guys to court and I'll sue them. And yeah, my life just went everywhere. It's 2026 now and I'm facing not the same thing, because my son, there was no class setting he was in. I had him in gen ed. There was no class setting that he was in that closed. But now my son is in a class setting. He's actually in an alternative curriculum autism program. It has 3 classes under that title. and they want to close one of the classes and split the children from that class and put them into the other two classes. So I want you guys to take a moment to hear this out. I spoke to the district and I said, hey, have you guys done like a risk assessment to see if this might hurt any of the children? Have you guys, maybe looked into how many of these children are not able to withstand a classroom with too many students? Are you guys, how many students are currently in that class that you guys are going to split? Do you know which class you're going to split? Which teacher is the one that's going to be eliminated out of the three? There's three teachers. And they were not able to answer any of my questions. None. They're just ignoring me. So I could sit here and cry, and I could sit here and break down because of the anger I've been feeling. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick heads up that this is a war that I'm now going to begin. I started immediately by I thought, okay, all right, I already know how you guys play your games. I'm not supposed to record you, but I'm a fast typer, and I typed a lot of the conversation that me and the coordinator had, the special education coordinator from the Los Angeles Unified School District. I've also been documenting how many times I've left a message to the chief of special education, the very same chief. His name is Anthony Aguilar from the Los Angeles Unified School District. Actually, you know what? You can reach him at 213-241-6701. That's his phone number. Go ahead and leave a message to that front lady who's going to be really upset that you want to talk to him. And she's going to transfer you to his secretary, and you're just going to get sent to voicemail. Leave them a voicemail and say, hey, I'd like to speak to Anthony Aguilar. I want to know what's going on. If you guys can help us out with that, that'd be great. That would be great. There's a parent here. I'm sure you know who that is. Yes, the one that's already requested 13 Public Records Act requests. I'm sorry, 13. What am I saying? 16 Public Records Act requests. The one that's, a nuisance to you guys, kind of like the same way you guys are a nuisance to her. I'm feeling a bit like you're personally attacking this person. Why does it keep needing to be her son? Just answer these questions. Like, have you guys done like a risk assessment? Have you guys thought of, the outcome of this? Have you guys talked to the parents? Were you guys really going to go through with this secretly like this? Really? Like, the answer to that is yes. They're going to say no because it hasn't gone through. So now they're going to probably say no. But hey, what's the worst that can happen, right? If they suddenly are like, hey, wow, an insane amount of parents are calling now, let's do that risk assessment thing. I told them, bring us a board certified behavior analyst and just talk to her. You know what? Bring me 3 because one might not make the cut. Bring me 3 and have 3 reports and have the parents analyze the reports. This should all be a parent decision, right? Don't you guys say that IEPs are a group decision, that parent involvement is important to you? Well, we should be highly involved in this as well. Let's have a meeting. Let's just have a meeting, guys. We'll all get together and calmly speak. I told them, let's just have a meeting. I will talk for everyone. Let's just have one privately, you and I. But let's talk for realsies. Well, that one first conversation was not for realsies. It just was oh my God, I'm so sorry. So I'm going to my in between my next moves is informing you guys. Okay, right now I only have 40 minutes left before I have to go pick up my kids. But I did want to see if I can get your attention. I immediately began to request a meeting with the chief of special education from the LAUSD. I've not got a response. I'm emailing back and forth with Miss Yolanda Bueno, who's the coordinator, special education coordinator of our district, of our East Side district, local Local District East is what it's called here in Southgate. And then I started making public records act requests. So they can, excuse my language, try to jerk me around personally between emails, but they cannot mess with our California state laws. And so the Freedom of Information Act is a law that they have to abide by. Otherwise, they'll get in big trouble or small trouble. I don't know. But either way, they'll be out of compliance with, our laws. So you can request public information. And so I immediately began those requests. I requested for them to tell me how many schools under the LAUSD umbrella have swimming pools and what the maintenance to those swimming pools are. Again, I have an insider that gives me a lot of information, and they're like, hey, did you know that there are some schools that are like balling out of control? Like balling out of control with swimming pools and like a beautiful menu, for their children. Why is that? Why do you think that is? Well, because it's an area where parents have money. And so, yeah. So that's what I requested. I requested a criminal background record for the 3 administrators from the Los Angeles Unified School District in charge of our special needs children, Eric C. Marusti, Yolanda Bueno, and ¿cómo se llama el otro güey? Anthony Aguilar, the chief. Just in case a couple of them, might have gotten a DUI recently. I requested their live scans. I requested their training, special education training. I want to know, when's the last time any one of you 3 have had special education training? I also forwarded them the email so they could respond to me directly, which they have not. I requested funding. I want to know which school is receiving the highest funding. And then I asked them how much is Southgate Middle School receiving as far as funding. Southgate High School, Independence Elementary. These are the schools dear to my heart. I requested, let's see, what else did I request? I requested all communications and all information of the recent arrest of their superintendent. Remember, guys, I sounded this alarm in 2018 to you guys, LAUSD. I told you guys, some of you guys are involved in embezzling. I told the judge, actually. I accidentally also said money laundering, but yeah, there's probably some of that going on too. I filed a complaint with our Department of Justice to run an investigation, but I guess it came too late. At that time, Austin Butner was the superintendent, and yes, he ignored me as well. I emailed you, Mr. Austin Butner, and I think you had something to do with this arrest, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I also made a public record act request requesting the policies on these alternative curriculum autism programs. So I'll have better answers for you guys. They have 10 days to respond, and then they should, within a well amount of time, provide me that information. They respond pretty quickly. Yes, we've received your request and we're working on it. We will get back to you as soon as we have those records. So I'm waiting to show you guys proof from the district. So what will happen if you all do see that, they did not run a risk assessment to see what the risks involved are. They've not informed any of us parents that they're cutting these programs. We don't know how many children are going to be crammed in those 2 classes. I personally don't think that they're taking into account each child's IEP. I informed them that I won against the district 3 IEEs. These are things you have to fight for because the district pays for them. And I was able to obtain 3 IEEs. And those are third-party assessors coming in to assess your child for special needs services. I love third parties because this is not a district person coming in to say, oh, I think this is our assessment, but we think, the child's fine, se va a acomodar, there's no need for services. I've seen it. I once thought, man, this functional behavior assessment that this assessor is conducted is insane. And I just saw her in this beautiful light, and I was just like so like in awe with her, thinking that she was like a third party assessor. And then at the end, because the assessments just sound so glorious and beautiful to me personally, and then at the end, when it was like, but it's my recommendation at this time that this child does not need services, I was like, can I ask you a question? Yeah, sure. I was advocating for another parent. I told her, you work for what company do you work for? And she was like, oh, I work for the LAUSD. Everything, my perspective just like shifted. My face even dropped. It was the most awkward thing. I went from to it just made so much sense. Not to accuse you guys of anything. This is just me and my heart and my trauma against you guys. But yeah, it made a lot of sense why after that assessment where, you spoke of how this child goes off task quite a lot, you decided that there was no need for services. LAUSD assessor. So I like third-party companies because that's a person that does not work for the Los Angeles Unified School District. They were contracted by the LAUSD to come and assist the child. So hey, let's get a couple of those to come and assess the situation, guys. What do you guys think, right? You guys, hey, Ms. Bueno, you said anything I need. Of course, when I said anything I need, but not including with this particular situation, right? You were like, well, it's complicated. But all right, you did try to, stay a little bit of your background, and you did try to make me feel like you'd be there for me besides, this big, huge thing that I need you for now. But hey, let me give you a chance right now, and because the public might want to ask you as well if you ended up helping us or not. Don't you think that it's a good idea to, run a risk analysis on this? Don't you think that it's a good idea for us to hire about 3 BCBAs to see what the risks are of halting some of these children's class, like that class that they're used to going to, right? The teacher that they know, that they love. For my son, it's his teacher or bust. And so you don't think that it would be beneficial to the children if you bring in, I know a really good BCBA. I know a few of them. I know some really phenomenal BCBs that'll be very truthful. I know that might scare you. You don't really want a very truthful BCBA to come into your school grounds. But you might have to start responding. You might have to start responding, Ms. Bueno. It personally, me, I think it would be very, very beneficial for you to do this prior to making this move. I told you that already in our conversation, and at the end I said, are you still going through with this move? And you said yes. But now I'm putting this online. Now I'm gonna raise a little bit more awareness. Now, hey, audience, whoever's watching this video, if you would like to help, let me go ahead and give you Miss Bueno's phone number. So I already gave you Anthony Aguilar's phone number. Eric C. Marusti is another coordinator of the LAUSD Special Education. Let me see. I have it right here. 323-224-3300. That's how you could contact Yolanda Bueno. And just ask her politely, and we don't have to do this with anger. I know, Miss Bueno, I was really angry, but I still kept my cool when I spoke to you. I spoke to you, calmly still. I am really upset, but let's talk to her calmly. Hey, Miss Bueno, you're really gonna make this move without checking in with the parents first to see what their thoughts on this are, you're really going to make this move without running a risk assessment. You know, you're really going to just pull the rug under the special needs community's feet. Really? Okay. It was easy for you to answer me, probably, right? I know I'm just one person, but that's what this video is for. So, yeah, and anyone who would like to contact us via my brother's Instagram, please reach out to us. If you have stories of your own of the LAUSD, we would love to hear them. I am going to contact an attorney who is known to give the LAUSD a really good fight. This feels like a Class A lawsuit to me. And I feel personally attacked. I'm pretty sure a lot of people feel personally attacked. And yeah, that's just, for those of you who don't know what this can do to a special needs child, it could be a very harmful thing. It could be. And they're going to give you very vague answers and very generalized information, and speak very subjectively. But just ask for data. Ask for data. They should have data. Like, just respond by saying, Ms. Bueno, do you have any objective data that I can take a look at to, back up what you're saying? You're saying that this transition is going to be wonderful. Can you believe that? This transition is going to, we've had students transition different grades. Yeah. But some of these students were going to stay in these same classes for the 3 years, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And you just took that from them. So I just answer the questions. And I just want to know, what are your thoughts on transitions for a child with special needs? Just answer these questions. Please go back to this video and write down every question I asked. These are the questions that I'm asking them. And they actually will dare say, when you ask them, what do you think about a transition for a child with special needs? They actually dare say transitions are great, or it's part of life, or some children have no problem with transitions. Like, wow. Okay, show me. I'd like to see the data, please. So this is the help that I'm seeking now. I'm going to continue to make these videos. The next video, I'm going to actually show you guys the emails of the Public Records Act requests and the transcript of our conversation. And I'll let you know if I've spoken to the Chief of Special Education. And when I do, I'll let you know what he says. And yeah, we'll just take it step by step. For whoever watched this video, thank you so much. I've been very emotional lately. LAUSD, you guys have me pretty traumatized. But, just speak even if your voice shakes. So I think that was Maya Angelou who said that. And how Zapata says, just like resistance, like give resistance. If there's no justice for the people, let there be no peace, like for those guys. So yeah, let's see what happens.